and welcome back to Ghouls Night In, the spooky chat show with your best ghoul friends. I'm Penny Snark.
And I am Midge Munster.
And today is actually a special episode.
Woo!
It is our 30th episode,
Yay!
which feels
Happy 30th
crazy.
episode.
Happy 30th. So we asked some of you on Instagram for questions that you had for us about the podcast, about spooky things in general. And we are going to answer some of those for you today.
Yeah, gonna tell you all our secrets.
Yes, we're spilling the tea today
Yes.
on everything spooky. So we did divvy these up a little bit. So we're going to start off answering any podcast or questions about us, personal details. And our first one is from our friend Spooky Little Halloween, who wants some dirt. She wants to know about something that went wrong while we were working on the podcast and how we recovered.
Let's talk about 10 minutes ago when we were recording the last episode.
Yeah, I feel like nothing like dramatically bad has happened except for sometimes it's a chat show, so we enjoy having little, following various conversational rabbits over the hills, and sometimes we get lost and we can't get back to where we started from.
Yeah. Just, the same things you would deal with pretty much any type of thing like this, like weird sneezing, coughing, hiccuping.
Yes.
And yeah, like I think sometimes we both maybe get a little like self-conscious about like, oh, I didn't have enough material for this episode. Like, we'll get really excited and we'll talk fast about something, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, it's been 6 minutes.
Yes. Or sometimes I feel like if you're telling me about something, I want to bring up something, but I don't want to ruin it if you're planning to talk about it later. So sometimes I'm just like, can we talk about this right now? Or is that gonna ruin like your flow?
I also completely forget that we can edit this. It's recorded.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh my God, it's live.
We do. Any of you who listen to this are probably aware that we do minimal editing on this show. I do take out like if we cough or like mess something up real bad, but most of the time I just leave it in and let you experience it with us.
Yes. But yeah, nothing, knock on wood, nothing super crazy has gone wrong. Like we haven't, forgotten to hit record or anything.
Oh, now you're making me go back to the tab and make sure it's recording. Okay, it is.
I can see the little red light. We're good.
I went into the other tab to look at my notes, so I did.
Same. I did notice. I think a couple episodes back, my microphone came unplugged for like 2 seconds. I don't know if you picked it up on your headphones, but I was like, oh my God! All of a sudden, my sound waves are very loud. Well, so next we have I love that some of our friends asked us some questions.
Yes.
We've got our pals over at Your Best Halloween Ever here asking, are you two open to bringing guests on the show? Spooky friends.
Oh, spooky friends. I think we're definitely open to having guests. Like that's something that we have talked about and are probably going to start implementing some of that in the near-ish future.
Yeah, we've definitely chatted about it, and I think you and I are both of the idea that anytime we can share our community with you all, and spread you more audience out to our friends as well, and show you what wonderful people they are, we're excited to be able to do that also. So
yes,
definitely not opposed to it at all.
Yes. Rabbit person also asked about guests, so answered, but was also curious if we have pets.
Yeah.
I do not currently have a pet. I consider myself the auntie to all of the dogs and cats that I know. So I have several furry nieces and nephews, but I do not have a pet of my own at this time.
And I have one doggo, a very special boy named Roscoe, and he's just a mutt. We adopted him from a shelter 4 years ago now, I guess. And he's he's my everything.
Mhm.
he's a he's a wonderful, wonderful dog. I am sure if you follow me on my Instagram, I post pictures of him to my story a lot and just show him being a cute little schmoop.
Wow.
I'm assuming that rabbit person probably has a rabbit. Uh, so send us pictures of your rabbit person. Next we have Chelsea Chelsea Datry. I'm probably not saying that right. The question is, how did you two meet? Boy, I wish I could remember.
On Instagram.
Yeah, that's the general question or the general answer on Instagram. I mean, I think I just saw you through, honestly, probably through like plus size pinup tags or things like
Yeah.
that. Um, it really wasn't even initially a spooky connection. I think I found you or you found me because of vintage fashion.
Hmm.
Um, but I remember liking you like because you were alternative looking like a lot
Yeah.
of I mean the vintage fashion community is great, but a lot of the gals are very quote normal looking like,
Yes.
and Penny always stuck out because at the time when I started following you, you had purple hair, and you always were like doing great fashion things. I was like, oh, I want to know that person. And then I think we probably just responded to each other's stories enough that
Yes. So just started the, the kind of the rolling ball, snowball of connection where you comment a little bit and then you comment and then you're like, "Ooh, are we friends now?
we,
I think
we were
maybe we're
having a
friends."
we were having a friend flirtationship.
Yes.
I like you. Do you like me? Do you want to
That's
do
the
picture
way.
collabs?
Mhm. That's the way to make friends on the internet.
Yes. And here we are. What good times.
Yes, so much has grown from just a few
Yes.
likes, mutual admiration. All right, now we're gonna move into spooky questions.
Ooh.
This one from SN Locker,
Locker. Yeah.
Locker. Your favorite spooky experience?
Ooh. Mine, I think maybe we've talked about this on the pod before, but mine was probably I went on a ghost tour under the streets of Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Under well, not Scotland in total, in Edinburgh. um, that's like one of the few times that I think I've actually been like touched by a ghost or encountered a ghost. And in the moment, it was horrifying, but it's now like one of my favorite little things that's ever happened. I was like, yeah, got one.
Got one. Ooh. Um. I so this is very appropriate. But it's not like a spooky experience. But I went to a really fun outdoor viewing of Beetlejuice a couple of years ago,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was just so much fun to get out on my blanket and watch it in the park with a bunch of other cool peeps. So that's probably my favorite right now.
Heck yeah, you better call me next time.
Yes.
Cheers with Chelsea asked favorite cryptid and cryptid that just freaks you out too much that you wish you didn't know about.
Oh, I mean, I think obviously the cryptid of my heart has to be the hodag.
Oh, dag.
The
Yep.
hodag, the Wisconsin hodag, who I did get to go and meet. Was that just last month? It was last month. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Um, cryptid that freaks me out. I have always found like Jersey Devil stories to be very weird.
Nice. Yeah. He's a spooky boy.
Yeah, he's very spooky.
I think I think my favorite's probably Mothman. I'm really into Mothman.
Solid choice.
Though, I mean, the Hodag really did. I mean, for like,
Yes.
Penny was making fun of me because I went on a rampage. Like,
He captured your heart.
he stole me away. I was sharing Hodag art left and right for 2 weeks after she introduced me. I was obsessed. So, yeah, the tie between Hodag and Mothman. Um, Cryptid that freaks me out is like a Wendigo,
Oh yeah.
Skinwalker, any of that kind of thing. That legitimately scares me. And I've watched a lot of I don't know actually if my friend Emmy listens to the pod or not, but Emmy will send me videos of people like have caught things on tape that
Mhm.
they believe to be Wendigo or skinwalkers, and it will. And the creepy thing about them is the legend is that if you like remember about them or talk about them, that it like brings them to your sphere. So
Mm.
I'm so sorry to everyone listening to this podcast. You are in immediate danger.
Oh no.
I do. Oh, I just found out. Here, I'm going to segue into the next question. Are you
All
ready?
right. Yeah, hit me.
I just found out. So I played a game called Horrified yesterday with Your Best Halloween Ever. And I just found out that there is a new version that just released of it called Horrified American Monsters, and it's all cryptids that you have to fight.
Oh.
And I've literally was out today trying to find a copy of it because I want it so bad. So, uh, segue into our next question from SN Locker: favorite spooky games, tabletop or video?
Oh, well, that one does sound very fun. I don't really play any spooky video games because most of them are first person, and I get motion sick if I even
Right.
watch them. So that's a no. But one of my favorite board games of all time is Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Which is like a horror movie in board game form, where you are a group of uh, people in this creepy old house and you are turning over tiles and like creating the map of it as you are exploring it, and like you find omens or you find weird like objects, and then partway through the game, once you hit like a certain number of omens, I think, it is called the turn, and someone in the group ends up being the bad guy. And
Wow.
yeah, so like they have a booklet of different scenarios, and they're like the haunt is on, and so like based on like what room you're in and what this and what triggered this, it'll be like, oh, you go to this page and then there's one for the rest of the group, and you have to like figure out kind of this horror movie scenario and try and escape, and like there are different win conditions for each thing, and the other person has their own conditions that they're trying to stop you from doing it, and it's so much fun.
That you are now the second person to tell me about this game.
It's
My
the
friend Richie
best.
keeps telling me I have to play this, and so I'm we're gonna have to play it very soon.
Yes, do it. It's so much fun.
Remind me, are you the one who told me about 10 Candles?
Yes.
The
Oh man.
RPG? Yeah,
Yes.
because that sounded so freaking fun too.
Yes, that one is also really fun. For those who don't remember, Ten Candles is like a very simple role playing game, where it is a horror game where no one survives, and you are physically blowing out candles as different things are happening and throughout the night. And when all of the candles are out, all of your characters are dead.
Incredible. I'm man, this we could have honestly we could do a whole episode about this, but I'm gonna do a quick
Mhm.
rundown because I do play video games. Um, Until Dawn is my favorite horror video game I've ever played because it's a like butterfly effect game where every choice you make affects the outcome of your characters and how it plays out, and it's like a horror film. But there's like three or four different bad like big bads happening,
Mhm.
and there's a cryptid. That's all I'm gonna say. Until Dawn is amazing. And then yeah, I really I just played Horrified for the first time last night, and I fully cannot say enough about it. It's a little bit of a learning curve. There's a lot to it, but it was so freaking fun. 10 out of 10 if you're looking for a good
Nice.
spooky tabletop.
Very cool. Our next question is from Disdainbrook, who wants to know, if you were in a slasher movie,
Ooh.
what character trope would you be? What killer would you be up against? And would you make it to the end credits?
I want us to answer this for each other. because I think my self-awareness is not good enough to answer this question. I think you would definitely survive because you'd be the person that's like, I'm done.
Right.
You would be the first one out the door. You'd be like, nah.
Right. I'd be like,
better
oh, is there a murderer here? Goodbye.
better not. Like I don't
Uh,
know.
I feel like maybe you would be the one who like thinks it's a prank the whole time and
I'd be
is
like,
just
come
like,
on, you guys.
Bobby, is that you? Are you doing it there? And so you'd be like trying to like find the masked killer and be like, it's just my friends playing a crazy joke on me.
I would love to say that I would survive, but I just wouldn't because I I mean, I don't have to I my like what is it called? Like my tragic trait or whatever is that I am just curious as hell. And I would want to
Yep.
my instinct would tell me GTFO, but my heart song would say I have to find out what's going on. And
Yep.
if anyone else were in danger and wouldn't leave with me, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't leave anybody behind. So then I would die. Which
See, and
killer?
yeah, and
Oh,
I feel like I maybe would die because I would be the one who would be like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and then like end up like secretly getting like poison darted in her car
we'd be
on the
that
way, and like you
we'd
think that she got away, but actually she was dead the whole time.
You'd be that reveal when it's me at the end of the movie. I'm
Mhm.
the last death, but I'm running and I'm like, ah! And then I run past like your body and I'm like, oh my God!
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
you've been dead since the opening credits and we had no
Right.
idea. Oh my God. That's wow, what a great question.
That is a very
this
good
this
question.
tickled me.
This is my real life bestie. So she is a good question asker. She is
Incredible.
the one who makes me watch horror movies with her. So I'm not
I
surprised that
love that.
this is the direction she took.
As far as which killer we'd be up against, if we get to pick, like do we get to pick which one would we think would be the easiest to like snuff out? I just I don't I like adjacent. I like something like physical that you can like hit, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
want to be up against Freddy Krueger.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, it depends on what the like. If it's what would you most want to fight, it would be like one that's like a dude, like Scream or something. But
Yeah.
if it's which one would be like most dangerous, it would definitely be like one of these, like Freddy or one of these fantasy guys, where I'm like, I can't even get away because he's in my brain.
I think our horror movie is like we go to a like convention for some kind of like we go to like a fashion convention. Like
Yes.
we're talking at Midsummer Scream on our panel and we have a disgruntled listener who comes to attack
Oh.
us.
Oh man.
So that was a great question. Thank you for that. That tickled my fancy.
That's good.
Our next one is from Sister Hipster. Y'all talked about BuzzFeed Unsolved on the Unsolved Mysteries episode. So, do you have a fave BuzzFeed Unsolved episode?
Ooh. Well, I think I'm the only. Have you watched any
I
Unsolved
have
since then?
seen 2 episodes, so I will pick from those 2.
There you go. I mean, I feel like everybody loves the Goat Man. Goat Man's Bridge is a classic. I really enjoyed the whole like final season of Supernatural when they revisited a lot of the houses that they had been to and kind of did some of that next level stuff. But I also really love like old timey murders. Like the one about the Cleveland torso killers is just so good. Highly recommend. So I love anything like that where
I'm taking notes.
yes, where they just kind of go off on some crazy discussion. I love Shane's old timey voice that he does. So anything where they discuss like a pre like 1950s mystery, it definitely gets a gold star from me.
Now, I will say I'm gonna take this a whole different route because like I said, I've only seen 2 episodes of
Hmm.
actual Unsolved. But what I have been watching pretty religiously lately is their Weird and Wonderful World
Yeah.
series as well as puppet history.
I love puppet history.
um and actually this started, so one of my best friends is obsessed with Shayma Day. And she's been trying to get me to watch Unsolved for years, and we watched a couple, and I was like, I'm just not a true crime gal. I'm just never have been. Kind of okay. Um, but her and I have been learning to roller skate. And so we watched the Weird One for World episode where they get taught how to roller skate by a roller derby woman.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really A, really informative, and B, one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my entire
So
life.
good.
And so then I got very into just Shane and Ryan as a people.
Yes.
And she was like, well, maybe you'll like puppet history because you like history. So then I watched that. And if you have not seen the Olga of Kiev puppet history, 10 out of 10. I also watched the molasses spill one.
Yes.
And
Oh my
that
God.
was so
I love the
freaking
molasses.
funny.
You
The
definitely
horse.
watch the Dancing Plague.
Okay. So that was a not really an answer to your question, but that's where I'm at.
Yes, we're your general fans. Let's see. Jay Shrug had 2 questions. The first one was best spooky beverage.
Oh, a beveragino. Well, I mean, I'm not a PSL girl, so I really like a pumpkin cream cold brew.
Mm.
If that counts as a spooky beverage, it's a fall season beverage for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about like fall, like I'm an apple cider kind of lady.
Mm-hmm.
For a spooky beverage, um,
Ooh, I did make a cocktail actually last year for my Springoween party on
ooh,
YouTube that was called the Coco Skellington. And that was delicious. I would 10 of 10 recommend that. It's one of the cocktails from Beetle House, the Beetlejuice
oh,
bar
nice.
in New York and LA. That's delicious if you're looking for something adult.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, like a good cocktail that I could think of. I mean, I would say the spookiest thing is that I drink Mountain Dew every day, so God only knows what's that's doing to
Bum, bum,
me.
bum.
And it's
That is
green.
That's truly horrifying. Yeah, see arsenic 2 episodes back. Put a little asterisk next to this.
Yes.
Let's see. So Jay Shrog also asked what our favorite spooky movie is.
Oh, I mean, we spoiler alert, we were just talking about Beetlejuice moments ago,
No, mere
and
moments.
that is definitely very high up on my list. Beetlejuice is an all-time fave. I am a big Hocus Pocus fan.
I am too.
Really, really into that, and I feel like so those 2 are like definitely my must watches. I also really enjoy like a Sleepy Hollow.
Oh,
Are kind of
girl.
my triad of like things that I watch as soon as like Halloween starts, that I'm like, I'll put this on while I'm like doing a craft or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that all has my cosign. I will also, because I'm the more the horror person here, I will also, outside of spooky, if we're talking horror movies, my favorites are Trick or Treat, Jennifer's Body, and like the Halloween franchise.
Nice.
Those are, and Nightmare. Honestly, as long as it's not Friday the 13th, I'm there. I'm not interested in Jason. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And wait, did I just ask this one or did you ask this one?
I asked the last one.
Okay.
It's all you, baby.
It's all good. It's all good. We're doing it. Rebecca from Riverdale wants to know what our favorite historical era for spooky fashion styles is.
Wow. This really is just hitting all the marks for the last couple episodes we filmed. Well, for me, I'm a mod 60s queen. I really am. I wish I could say that I was more interested in like true historical fashion, but I love the 50s and 60s. Mid-century is where it's at for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would say mid-century is my general favorite fashion style. For spooky and specific, I love a good Victorian vibe, like just kind of like the gothic elements of anything Victorian. Like, we've talked about casket rings and all sorts of
Yeah.
crazy stuff. I always love mixing a little bit of that in to my vibe.
I guess it depends on how I understand now that I think we're reading this question differently. I thought like it meant like on me for spooky fashion. What era am I
Ah,
replicating? Yeah, so I guess if like looking historically at which fashions are spooky, I think yeah, I mean I think Victorian obviously is the one that like comes to mind as being kind of hauntingly like ooh beautiful and spooky.
yes, very spooky.
But I think you can make any era spooky if you believe in yourself.
This is true. This is true.
Raylan, nope. I've almost said 1984. Nope. Raylan, 1894, said, "What spooky character shaped you as a child?" Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh,
For me, it's Winifred Sanderson,
uh, classic.
hands down. I have wanted to be Bette Midler since the day that my being slithered down onto this little rock in space. I said, "I'm gonna be Bette Midler today." Um, I also we've talked about this before, but I think like all the people I've admired in time, like women that really shaped me, were redheads.
Yes.
And I definitely remember like thinking, oh my god, Winifred has like the best hair.
I feel like now it's hard to necessarily pick a specific one, but I feel like I was very shaped by like ghosts characters as a kid. Like I
Mm.
remember, I don't know if anyone else would know this one, but there was a movie that we used to check out from Blockbuster a lot where it was like a girl went to go, like her family bought like an old palace and there was the ghost of a little girl princess who lived there, and
Hmm.
like they became friends and stuff, and I just remember being like, yes, I want to be a princess ghost. This is the way to do
And
things.
look what you became. Good for you.
Yeah,
Dreams do come true.
they do. Yeah, that was probably the most like um thing that I imprinted the most on, was I was like, it would be good to be a beautiful ghost.
So proud of you for achieving your goals.
And just to wrap it up, we have a couple Halloween specific questions. We have another one from Chelsea Daytree, who wants to know what our favorite Halloween candy is.
Mm. Uh, I think I've mentioned before, I love a Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, though I will say, if we're talking specifically candy that we received in our bucket trick or treating, like what was the best thing to find? For me, it was those like tubes of mini M&Ms.
Ooh, that was good.
I
That
thought
was
I
a good
was
time.
the queen of the candy store when I had a tube of mini M&Ms, and you got to do the little squeeze. You would squeeze it at the top, and it would go like. it was
Yes.
it was the bomb.com.
I have always been a big fan of just anything chocolate. Like that was when I would come home with my trick or treating, I would divvy things up into chocolate and not chocolate,
Yeah.
and then divvy up, in order of preference from there. But chocolate was always top choice. I'm a big Reese's fan.
I
It's
rem-
probably my all time fave.
I was talking to, so I just spent a weekend with Devin and Andrew from Your Best Halloween
Yes.
Ever, and we were talking about this for some reason, and I literally said, like, I was like, well, Penny loves a Reese's. It's like this.
You know me.
We also have another question from Chels. For both of you pretty girls,
Mm.
for us ghouly ghouls, most favorite Halloween costume, parentheses, that you've worn. I know yours.
Ooh, you do. And see, now I'm like, I know I've given some answers to this, so now I'm like, do I come up with a new answer just to
Mm-hmm.
just to
Spice
shock
things up
just
a
to shock
little.
and excite everyone? I mean, so all-time favorite of life, Spiderella. The
Mm-hmm.
Spiderella costume that I wore as a youth. Um, I would say I actually was really, really happy with my Halloween costume this year. I was a
Yeah.
Stay Puffed Marshmallow Girl
Yeah, so
and
cute.
had a super cute little sailor dress and my white wig and my little sailor hat that I had to buy two of because they came in a pack of two and I had to like pry a little plastic captain logo off of it. Um, but it was worth it and I felt extremely cute.
Uh yeah, I know. I my previous answer has been I Dream of Jeannie, which is definitely still rings true. I
Mm-hmm.
also I my mom made me a Jessie costume one year from Toy Story, and I
Oh,
also really, really loved that. My mom was really great about making costumes, so I like always had something really fun that like nobody else was dressed up as. And
yeah.
so overall, just my favorite thing is my mom is the answer to the question because she makes dope costumes.
Excellent. And our final question, which I thought was one that was very relevant right now, it is
Yes.
from a friend whose username is not a thing that you can say.
I believe this is from
But
Jenny. I think they're, if I remember right, their name is backwards in this.
okay, I
So
must have
yeah.
mistyped it in there. But she asked us, "How do you survive the summer?"
And the
Which is
answer
such
is
a
we
good
don't.
question for all the spooky people out
the,
there.
the answer is we're dying.
Yeah.
No. No. I actually was talking about this with some folks the last couple days. Like I almost get more excited for Halloween in non-Halloween season now.
Mm.
Now that my life is so vested in it. um like I love Spring Halloween. I love pastel Halloween time, and then by the time Spring Halloween's kind of over, then we're getting into summer and it's like it's Halloween decor hunting time.
This is
And
very
that
true.
like that passes the time for me. I like to truck it through and just get excited about what's coming our way.
Yeah, yeah, I would say I think it is like just bringing like little pieces of Halloween into your life as often as possible, whether it's
Mhm.
because you are Halloween hunting over the summer or because you are, doing Halloween or Springoween and, kind of bringing it back. Just, or even if you're just like, you know what, I'm watching Beetlejuice right now. I can watch Hocus Pocus whenever I want. Just
Yeah,
let yourself have pieces of Halloween.
I don't know if anyone's told you that, but there's no time limit
It's
on when you
true.
can watch Halloween movies. You can do it
You
whenever you like.
when you click on them, it doesn't come up and say no. You can't watch this until October.
Wouldn't that be funny if there was a Netflix notification? It's like, are you sure?
It was like seasonally appropriate filter that's like, no, you're not allowed.
Do you know what it makes you like click the correct date? It's like, what day is it today? Are
Oh
you okay?
man. Love that. Or I don't know if anyone who plays Animal Crossing is familiar with time traveling,
Yeah.
where change the date on your Switch so you can trick the game into thinking you're different places. Now I'm
Yes.
just picturing having to like change the date on your TV to be like, no, really, I promise it's Halloween.
It's October 3rd.
It's Halloween. Let me watch Sleepy Hollow.
I do think too we like as far as summer, I'm thinking also, I don't know where this person lives, but like being a creature of the fall and surviving like summer as far as like
Oh,
heat.
yes.
um finding like things that are fun to wear that are not hot can be really challenging as a like also as like a person but also as a plus size person too. And I
Hmm.
think like you and I have found a lot of really fun brands and things that like have, like a cute summer print, but it's spooky. And then that's a fun way to like again kind of just trick your brain into like it can be whenever you want it to be. It can,
Yes.
like, if the panini has taught me one thing, it's that time is irrelevant and the rules don't matter.
You can have a little Halloween as a treat.
Yeah, exactly. I just keep a little in my purse with me at all times for when I
Yes.
when I
For
just
when
need
you
something.
really need it. Got some, I've still got cotton candy. Pff, I've got candy corn in my cabinet if I ever need a little bit.
There you go. It's like a little candy corn pill, and you take it, and then like it turns into Halloween. It's perfect.
Yes. My hair starts to glow a little bit. And I'm like, recharged. Well, thank you everyone so much for listening. It is so crazy that we're 30 episodes in, and it's been so wonderful to have your comments and your messages and your thoughts and your reviews, and we just really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday that we were recording our first episode, and we were so nervous. And
Yes, and we're like, is anyone gonna listen to this?
does anyone care? Yeah, this is awesome, and thank you for caring enough to submit questions and hanging out with us. If you like to hang out with us, please let us know. You can leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would love to read it live on the air.
Yes, if you too want to feel the thrill of hearing us attempt to pronounce your username, leave a review, and that could happen to you.
I'm picturing now people are gonna like make the most complicated usernames and be like, "Suck it, Penny and Midge." Like,
Aw, man. We would struggle through it for you, listener.
for you.
For you. And if you would like to follow along with us, you can find our podcast on Instagram at Ghouls Night In Pod, and you can find me on all of the things at Penny Snark.
And you can find me across all platforms at Midge Munster. And that's all.
Until next time.
Goodbye.